Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Kayak Bass Nation is presented by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Go to dugoutfishing.com to find everything you need for your next kayak bass fishing tournament.
Hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego.
Also sponsored by Revo Sunglasses. Go to revo.com, use code KBN25 to save 25% off your next order. Revo, best lenses on earth. Also sponsored by Western Sun Vodka. Go to westernsundistillery.com and use the bottle finder to find a bottle near you.
Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Welcome to KBN Live. We've got a chipper, Ryan Lambert, in here having technical issues, but he's ready to roll on a Monday night. How you doing, Ryan?
I love it. Just having a great time. How are you?
You're loving life. All right. We got a good show for you tonight. We got a couple of great guests. You guys saw William Benini from up in Pennsylvania way. They're having the Big Bass Bash or the Big Bass Power Hour put on by Native. It's coming to Susqehanna up there in October. We've been told to have him on a couple times by Josh Evans and a few other people, so we got him on to talk about that. And I didn't put the name of the guy that was the last man into the TOC because I wanted people to guess who that was if they didn't do the math or look. Do you know who it is, Ryan? Do you know who that was?
Whoever it is, I don't like him.
You do like this guy, though. You do like this guy. So the person that we're having on, the last man in, hopefully we can get a story about one magical fish that got him in, is Luke Aryan. He was the last man in.
Be damned. But is it seriously Luck? Was he the last one?
Luke Aryan, last man in. So we're going to have Luke Aryan on. He's a regular in the comments and a regular on the show. So and the first man out, I was told, was Kevin Workman. So he was just out.
That is true. Now, I didn't look at who was the last one in, but I did look at who was the first one out. So I got a few tires to cut on the way out there, you know?
Yeah. Old Luke Aryan, my man. So he got in there. I thought he was already in for some reason. I thought he was in with, I guess I was thinking of Broken Bill last year or something where he got in top 3. So good for Luke. We'll hear from him in the second half of the show.
Proud of him.
But first, I see a lot of people jumping in on YouTube, a lot of people on Facebook. Today, we were supposed to have the new chief of the Bassmaster Kayak Series. That didn't quite work out. There's still some I's to cross and T's to dot, or however that saying goes. But we do have a little information to share with folks tonight, right, Ryan?
There's plenty of cross eyes over there for sure.
Yeah. So
do we want to drop that now, or do we want to make people wait to the end? What do you think?
We got to make them wait a little bit at least. I want to hear about your weekend, dude. Lambert's towing recovery was out in full effect, out in the mud and the red dirt.
Dude. So we had the TVKA, the local club that myself, Steve-O, and Daniel run. It was our classic, and we had it on Gunnersville. Gunnersville has tons of backwater. Like, there's all kinds of hard-to-reach public access type areas, and there's this one particular spot. I've duck hunted it for years and years and years. I actually sank a K5 Blazer back there about 6 years ago going fishing. So I know that it gets bad when it's wet. I don't even mess with it when it's wet at all, period. However, my good friend Steve Owens does not give a hoot. He decides that he's going to go fish this place. And I'm on the phone with him as he's driving there. And I was like, dude, you're going back there? And he's like, oh, it's getting slick. I was like, dude, be careful. And he's like, maybe if I get out of these ruts here. I was like, don't get out of the ruts, because the ruts are the hard bottom. You'll slide off into the cornfield if you get out of the ruts. And seconds later, he's like, well, I'm stuck. And I was like, what do you mean? You're like, this is out in the middle of nowhere. I was like, what do you mean you're stuck? And he's like, I'm stuck. And I was like, well, I said, we're about to go to lunch with my dad. I'll throw the tow strap in the truck. And when we're done, I'll come out there and we'll figure out what we have to do. Well, he went ahead and went fishing. And I get down there and he's like, yeah, you'll probably have to back up, back down the trail to get me out. And I was like, shit, all right. So I'm backing about 1.5 miles down through here and my truck starts sliding like off the trail into the field. And I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be good, boys. So it's red clay, like thick, super thick red dirt. And I start walking back towards Steve-O and I get, I don't know, probably 1 mile back in there. And I call him. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm checking this trail out. I was like, it's kind of hairy back here. And he's like, oh, I took the trailer off. I'm unstuck now. And I'm like, man, you got to be freaking kidding me. So I was like, well, I'm already heading back there now. And he's like, well, we have to drag the trailer and the kayak out and get it loaded up. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I go, grab the trailer, drag it out, put it on the truck, load his kayak up. And then my boy, he looks at me and he's very serious when he says this. He's like, well, you don't have to walk back. We're about 2.5 miles into it. He's like, you don't have to walk back out. You can ride on the tailgate. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I sat there on the tailgate bouncing around down this pig trail, finally get back out to my truck. Everything was safe and secure, but that was the adventures of Ryan and Steve on Sunday. Love it.
Yeah, I saw that popping up on the Facebook stories, and then I saw your post, his post. I was cracking up, so I can just imagine. I tagged you in a post. Our guest tonight, Luke Aryan, also got stuck. I was trying to see if we come over.
I saw that.
Come over and get him out. A little too far.
I would have made the drive. I like the Reds out there. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We always like to talk about our sponsors. I saw big news for our title sponsor, Dugout Bait and Tackle. Y'all brought on Jordan Marshall to the team. How about that?
We brought on Jordan Marshall, man. I've been trying to make that happen for a while now, and finally the stars lined up. Glad to have Marshall. Anybody that knows him, you can't help but love the guy. Hilarious. I mean, top tier angler. Without a doubt, probably top 5, top 10 in the country for sure. I don't think too many people can argue that. So we are glad to have him on with us for sure.
Yeah, and then you brought a country music singer. Star down to
been a big
Dugout
day. Been a big day.
And loaded him up. Was that today that you did that, or was that yesterday?
Yeah, no, it was today, man. Trey Lewis, his popular hit song "Dick Down in Dallas" went viral a little over, I guess, about 1.5 years ago. And I saw him at one of his shows, and he's like, "You're the fishing guy, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I primarily kayak fish." He's like, "Dude, I want to fish and kayak bad." And I was like, "Well, holler at me." And he called when I was out there pre-fishing for Dardanelle, and he's like, "Dude, I want the red Hobie PA 360. I want active target. I want a motor. I want a deck kit, the whole 9 yards." So he gets down there, and then today he's like, "I need a trailer too." We're looking around, and there's not. We have like 2 trailers on the whole place, and we had the one that we used in the commercial. And Jamie's like, "Well, I guess you can have that one then." So we get all the stuff off of it and load him up, and he takes off back to Nashville. He's charging his batteries right now, about to go hit the water in the morning.
How about that? That's awesome, man.
Kid in a candy store.
You're literally hooking up all of Nashville, aren't you?
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. I try to connect dots. Yeah, Mike Iaconelli started following him on Instagram after I made that post, and he sends me a screenshot. He's like, "Holy shit, man, Ike's following me." I was like, "Yeah, dude, you're in the eye condition PA."
You should have told him he ain't made it till Jackson Rumbanis follows him. That's when he's made it in kayak fishing.
He's coming along.
Only winners matter. You know what I mean? Well, I guess Ike won on the.
He's got the blue trophy, son.
He's got the blue trophy. I'm sorry, I forgot. But yeah, Dugout, big things happening down there. Of course, we got Revo, best lenses on earth. We'll have another giveaway of the Revos coming up soon. And Western Sun, vodka. I got a little bit in the background right there. I need to bust out a drink of some because I had a long day today at the hospital. But anyway, Western Sun, we appreciate them. They've got some new stuff out. Brian had the strawberry on deck last week. What did you think of that?
Delicious. 10 out of 10. I did it with Sundrop and I did it with lemonade. I cannot knock either one of them. That was delicious.
All right. We got a question. Tim Percy asked, is he playing when we are there?
I'll check, Tim. He's in town quite a bit, but he's touring with Kid Rock this year. So the best time to catch them is like during the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They usually go out on Thursday nights for their tour deal.
There we go. What else happened over the weekend before we get Mr. Benini in here? Oh, Arkansas lost, Tennessee won, so we swapped places in the top 10. So good stuff. There we go.
That's right. All's right in the world.
Good on you. So maybe Ole Miss will be Kentucky and Tennessee will be the last team standing of the group. So
I wasn't going to jinx them, but yeah, that'll be a good one.
We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Bob, I didn't even say anything about Ohio. He's saying screw Ohio in the comments. What are you doing? Bring up the Buckeyes winning. Them winning was a given until we get to the end of the year.
Bob pulling you out on the backup team. Yeah. You don't care.
Yeah, I know. I always got things to fall back on. But let's get Mr. Benini in here. He's been patiently waiting. Get him in.
I like it.
There he is.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, bud?
Not a darn thing. Just sitting here waiting for the Susqehanna event.
It looks like it's going to be a good one. I saw Marty Mood's been up there just laying into the smallmouth recently.
The bite's been good. It's been really good lately. And it's only going to get better. That's the best part.
Y'all got water in that thing up there now?
We got a little bit to work with.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. They're really dogging my Buckeyes in the comments. All right, let's get off. I can't look at that anymore. Especially from Michigan or Michigan fans. I can't be taking no heat from Michigan fans.
Oh man.
Let's talk fishing.
Okay.
Susky in October, man. Josh Evans has been gassing this event up for weeks. So we need to have you in here to talk about it. So tell us what to expect up there.
So look, when Native reached out and they were looking for guys to jump on and run this new series or new events, you know, they reached out, they tapped 5 of us and asked us if we could jump in, and we did. And I'm not going to lie, initially I was thinking the upper Chesapeake, but after some better judgment, I know, right? After some better judgment, and a couple late night conversations with a fan favorite of ours, Mr. Harshman, and Mr. Practicality, Mr. Little, we decided on the Susqehanna. Yeah. If you've had a phone conversation with Jeff, great man, probably one of the most informative people I've ever met. It's a long conversation, but we landed on the Susqehanna strictly because of the format. We thought it was going to be lights out, the best for that MLF side and also the big bass side.
Agreed. From what I hear, it's quite a different bite from what we experienced back in the summer.
Yes. Yeah, that fall bite, they're feeding up. I mean, you're a river fisherman, Ryan, you know. They're feeding up, they're getting into it, and it's not unheard of for anglers to go out and catch 100 fish in a day, right?
Ooh.
And that's what we were targeting, is giving people the opportunity to just go out and fish what they wanted to fish. You know, it has the potential to be incredible. And I don't want to talk it up any more than what others have, but if that bites the way it should be and the way it has been in the past, it's going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure.
And you don't have to throw like some little floating cricket or some bullshit, right? You can get up there and man fish.
You can. What did old Donald say the other day? You could throw a Pepsi can with a treble hook on it and catch them in October. So, no, you do not have to throw a floating cricket to catch them.
All right,
So,
that's good. I like that.
It'll be a good bite. One of our local series, MAKBF, was just down in the Goldsboro area the other day. And our guy, Matt, I know you know Matt. Matt took second place with 96 inches, caught 2 on a whopper, legitimately.
I saw the picture at the same time.
Yeah. So if that gives you any idea of what to expect when you come out, it's gonna be lights out. It's gonna be good.
What are the boundaries? Is it similar to the BOS or?
Yeah, just to keep it simple, we ran the same boundaries. I mean, it's okay. What most people do when they go up there. Sunbury at the north, Goldsboro at the south. A lot of people don't know that Goldsboro in that area, you have a largemouth bite. That adds an interesting element to it. So you could go down there and swing the bat. I don't know why you would on the Susquehanna, but if you wanted to, you could go fish for largies.
Some people they don't like rivers or current, like Jay Whalen. He don't like nothing to do with moving water.
So yeah, same boundaries. Basically, it's this. Hobie's already done a great job. They've already written it out, right? So anglers are familiar with those boundaries. We're running the same ones. It just keeps it normal, keeps it status quo.
Right.
like
Imagine somebody seeing something that works and just copying it. It's amazing.
What?
So simple. So simple.
No, dude, you have to change everything. Are there any crazy measurement rules? Is there any anal touching? Can you have mouth open or closed? Like what? Are there any specifics here?
Obviously, the mouth has to be closed, right? And we have to be able to see the identity. It's standard rules, nothing crazy. The only thing that we're adding just to give our judges a little bit of a break is there's a 14-inch minimum. That's it. It's the only thing. And that was just designed. That arguably that was put in for the Susquehanna, but that was designed just to cut down on the amount of fish that would come through the door. That's the only crazy.
Still, I mean, 2 years ago when we were up there for the BOS, I can't remember a 14-inch fish, being caught at that time. It seemed like every single fish was 16 inches plus. Every single fish. It was nuts.
Yeah, you get in the right eddy in October, and I can't even imagine. I've heard of guys sitting in an eddy and pulling 6 and 7, 19-inch fish out, right? So it could be really, really interesting.
So I see Harshman in the comments. There's some other folks from up there in the comments. What do you guys, if you had to guess, if you're a betting man, what's this total limit going to be for this unlimited stringer?
Oh God, I couldn't even begin to guess what it's going to be north of 300 inches if I had to guess. Based off Hobie, when they came, they put over 1,000 fish day one, if I remember right. Talking to some of the people that spend a lot of time on that body of water, they think we'll be in the 1,500 range for total fish submitted. So I couldn't even guess. I have no idea. But it's going to be big. If a guy finds the right pocket of fish, it's going to be big.
How many are in it so far? How many people are signed up so far?
With all my friends and family here from the Mid-Atlantic, you could sign up and not run the typical Northeast wait to the last minute to sign up. But we have 55 guys signed up right now, 60 if we add in the people that haven't paid yet but have registered. So that's where we're sitting currently. But it's the Northeast. I'll have guys sign up the night before. It's the way they always do it up here. So I'm confident we'll break the 100 mark. That's where I think we'll land, right in that area.
And there's your 100 angler payout threshold. Looking at $1,000 hourly big bass.
Yep.
With 100 anglers. That's dang good. What's your fishing day? 8-hour fishing day? 9-hour fishing day?
Yep. 7 to 3.
Okay.
Just another day at work.
Just another day at work.
Mm-hmm.
If Cisco, he says if someone puts in every fish north of 500 inches.
Hey, there you go.
They're arguing about it in the comments. But anyway, what are you going to say, sir?
What I was going to say is you see the payouts too, but I just made a video just a couple days ago. Huge shout out to my local shop here in the area, Delaware Pal Sports, but I got 3 kayaks to give away too.
Oh,
so we're giving away 3 kayaks at the event. There is no minimum on attendees. So they are in the garage. They'll be on the trailer. They'll be there. And we're even going to give one away to a random angler as long as they submit 1 scoreable fish. We'll take one kayak. That's awesome. Between them, Dakota Lithium, Ego Fishing, DreamWorks Woodworking, they did some trophies for us, and some of the local sponsors that back my local series here, anglers will walk away with something regardless of how many sign up. But we want to get to that 100 mark so we can pay down $1,000 per hour.
Taking home the wood.
Well, we've only seen it twice in the series so far where an angler's won 2 hours. It's predicted that this event, if an angler's on the right bite in the right spot, you could take home multiple hours, 3, 4, if you're on the right bite.
And
so it could get really interesting.
I may have asked this before to Josh and Vinny, but is it on the hour caught or the hour submitted?
Picture taken.
Picture taken.
When the picture was taken.
Okay, so you can't hold You can't hold
No.
fish. Okay.
No, and that's one of the unique things we do. We turn the leaderboard off. We do make posts throughout the day, thanks to Jason Zulili. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He makes posts for us. I can never pronounce it right, Ryan.
Old Jason, bless his heart.
But he makes posts throughout the day and gives a little teaser where we're at from a total perspective. But throughout the entire event, no one knows who's leading the hours until we get to the award ceremony. But it's about when the picture was taken, not when it was submitted. We wanted to eliminate that gameplay. You know, we've all done that in the past where it's this hour, that hour. No, picture taken, because you can't technically fish again by the rules until that fish is released. So, and you're not going to release that fish till you've taken a picture.
Gotcha.
Harshman's blowing up the comments. He says he thinks 19 inches every hour to take big bass per hour. It'll be at least a 19.
I can see that. Yeah.
And then he does make a really good point. You know, if you just go target one big fish for the day, you could easily cash $1,000. You know, get out your big KGB Legends or something and go target in one big one. You could easily just cash $1,000 check and go on with one fish.
Look, here was the brass tacks of it when we sat down. When the five of us sat down and started talking about it, we wanted to give anglers an opportunity to fish their style. So if you want to come out and swing the big stick, throw the big swim baits, you could. You're fishing for $1,000 an hour, right? Or if you didn't, and you're a Five Alive kind of guy and you're good at catching the numbers, we want to give them an opportunity too. So it was to allow anglers to come and fish their style, their strength, and go swing the bat at whatever they wanted to. Arguably on the Susquehanna, you're probably fishing both categories because you're going to run into big ones if you're still fishing for numbers. It doesn't matter what you're throwing, but that gave the opportunity to any angler to fish their style.
I love it. I asked you this before we came live, and we can come back to this tournament itself, but I want to fish one of these. They've kind of skirted the edges of the country, the perimeter. What are the thoughts or the plans, if you can talk about any of it, on expansion? Can you give us any hints on what you guys are going to do next year?
So I'll tell everyone that's on here the same thing I told you. It's an from a business perspective, it's an ROI play, right? What's the return on investment for native donating kayaks and getting out there? And it's hard to quantify that. It's hard to figure out if they're getting a return. But I can tell you right now, for the people that know him, his name's Tyler. Tyler's happy. He's happy with what we've done so far and what we've seen. Will it continue? I think we'll see it continue. Will it expand? We'll see. I don't know yet. We have a meeting as soon as, because we still have to run a Susquehanna event. We still got to give them the numbers from the Susquehanna event. And so based off that and the conversations we have, we'll see where we go from here. What I do know is the anglers have overwhelmingly enjoyed the new concept. It's just a different style. There's not an AOI race. There's nothing like that. It's just a come out and have a fun day and enjoy it. So if I were a betting man, it'll continue. I also think that we will take a deeper look into some of the areas of the country that we didn't go to this year. And I'll leave it at that.
I got you. So even if it doesn't expand, it could pick some new locations, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. You know, when we settled in, that's what we were talking about before we got on. You know, they went and found 5 directors that were native staff and guys that were already running series that they could put it in the hands of and say, here, let's see if it works. You know, Vinny, Marv Forte, Marv Goda, myself, Chris Cantwell, they said, hey, you guys are doing it already. Let's throw a set of rules together and see what comes out of it. And here's where we are now.
Hey, Ryan, if they came your way, where would one of these be just legit? One of these no limit?
Gunnersville.
Gunnersville.
Yeah, 1,000%. Any time of the year. Anytime. That's well, I'm nowhere near Lake Fork, but I would I'd let BDH and Guillermo and those guys have a blast at that one. But I like Gunnersville, Pickwick. I think would do really well with it. You know, it's got to be one of the more well-rounded Tennessee River lakes. I think Chickamauga. I love Chickamauga, but I wouldn't put this on there because it's got so much pressure on it now. It hits slumps that are are really tough, and I don't think people want to sit out there and watch. Now for big bass, there's always a 24 plus that gets caught on Chick. Like there are true giants out there, but if you're looking for a real barn burner, I would probably look at Gunnersville or Pickwick myself.
Guntersville in what? Late March, early April? Be perfect for you?
I don't care. I ain't trying to cherry pick nothing. I got a couple little largemouth.
I'm thinking about your pet. I'm thinking about your pets, man. I'm thinking about your
I got a couple
pets.
little largemouth holes out there that'll be fine. I think it would be more fun later in the year. Like if you look at October on, running once it starts to cool, the frog bite right now. I went out for 2 hours Sunday morning, and the first 45 minutes had 6 fish on a frog. Like the frog bite is about to be insane on Guntersville. So I think that would be a super exciting way to work this tournament in, because you always get big bites on a frog. You may have to catch 40, but one of those 40 is going to be really big aggressive fish. I think that would be really fun. Get people out. And I know the Spro does their kayak tournament or whatever, but I feel like this is much more geared toward people, like you said, just getting out swinging at the fences. Throwing a frog, like you are one cast away from that bucket just opening up behind it. So I think that would be awesome. That's my recommendation.
Vinny, he's taking notes in the comments.
Oh, Jesus.
Noted.
I get a commission off that one. Tell Tyler I get $1 per angler off that one.
Can I ask you want to guess what Jesse Halverson is calling for, Ryan?
Oh, I know. Well, see, Jesse keeps talking about all these pets and stuff. I'm waiting on Jesse to win one down in Pickwick. Don't talk about it. Be about it, Jesse.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, it's coming. Is he in the bass one coming up or no?
He is.
All right. I'm going to put a little tile on his truck so I can follow him. Low jack. Let's see. Did you find any other questions in the comments for William when we got him? I'm excited about this. What about y'all's captain's meetings and weigh-in stuff? Is it more, since there's no AOI involved and anything like that, is there more of a, I don't know how the right word for it, hangout / celebration vibe to it all, or is it more of a not uptight, but professional environment at the check-in and weigh-ins than the latter?
I would say it's more hang out and have fun, right? Okay. Now, we're throwing around some big money, so there's some official side to it, right? Pictures and stuff like that. But sure, yeah. It's come back. Prime example, I'll give a shout out to KA and their Kayak Anglers of Pennsylvania. They're actually running an event concurrent at the same time, an AOI event. And we were able to move our award ceremony around the timing. I mean, a lot of people are going to say the timing for our award ceremony will be 6 p.m. And that's so that they can do their award ceremony first and then get over to ours. There's no formal side to it. The captain's meeting for this one will be virtual. Most of them have been. Heck, Vinny even ran his captain's meeting because he ran 18 lakes down in the Carolinas. He ran his award ceremony virtual, right? So there's a lot of opportunity to, because there's no AOI, to just make fun, have fun with it, right? And so, yeah. That formal side of it, there's a little piece of it there. Again, it takes us back to that ROI conversation, but we're just trying to get guys out, maybe get some guys out that aren't fishing some of the other series. It's a low cost entry. It's only $100 to get in, and give them an opportunity to come out and have a little fun with a different format.
I know Ryan's brought it up before. We'd love to see more, whether it's the captain's meeting or the weigh-in or both or whatever, a little more of that saltwater vibe to some of the saltwater tournaments where it's more of a party at the end of the day. Wouldn't you like to see that, Ryan?
Yeah. Bayou Coast, that's one of the best examples of any tournament I've ever fished. They have catered food, like everybody's hanging out, drinking beer, just relax. Like you just fished for 9 hours in the sweltering heat. Like, come on back and hang out a little bit and, get to know one another a little bit. I don't think the whole interaction part that we have in person should be just listening to rules over and over again. Like you gotta have a little bit of fun with it. I'd love to see some more, outside sports integrated. Maybe a little badminton tournament, or maybe cornhole if anybody's any good at that.
Cricket, maybe a little cricket.
Cricket, I'd take some cricket, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But
so look, before I jump, a couple things. Can I just say a couple things, because there's a couple things I keep getting asked and I think are cool. We're allowing motors.
Okay.
All right.
So we are a motored event. So anyone that's coming, you strap them on the back. Let's roll.
Okay. I don't know why I took that as a given. I feel like almost everybody allows them now.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that question keeps coming up a lot, probably because it's the Susquehanna, but
Sure,
we
sure.
are allowing the motors. We're allowing the wade fishing. If you want to get out and jump in the water, by all means, just got to stay tethered to the kayak, right? And then there's that 14-inch minimum. Now, one of the things that we're doing, and the anglers will see when they sign up, we're doing a side pot. We're the only event that did. We're doing it for the Susquehanna River Keeper, right? And that's an organization that protects the river and keeps an eye on the river when others can't. So it's a $20 side pot. 50% will pay out to the largest fish. The other 50% gets donated to the Riverkeeper Foundation. And then you got Jeff Little and the Riverkeeper himself, Ted, over there, who have been out securing giveaways for everybody. It's going to be a cool, just a cool thing that's there along with our award ceremony. So you catch the biggest fish of the day, just so I can bring it home. It's $1,000 from native, as long as we hit 100 anglers. Remember that. You're taking home a boat, and then you're taking home the whole side pot too. So you figure you could be taking home $2,000 and a kayak and some giveaways if you catch the largest fish of the day.
For one biggin.
One.
Just one.
Any chance it could be a largemouth? Take the biggest of the day.
It could be. There's always that potential.
How big are those
I don't
largemouth
think it
down there in Goldsboro? Harshman, how big them largemouth get down there? I swear, I thought it was Jay that told me he saw like a 6.5 pounder on bed down there a couple years ago.
They're down there. They're absolutely down there.
Couple guys saying no shot. No shot. Oh, okay. Here's a good question for you. Is the catch carbonate allowed or the metal one only?
All catch boards are allowed.
All right. I like that yellow one better myself anyway. It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
to judge.
I'm down with the yellow.
From a judging perspective, I think the yellow is one of the easiest ones to judge.
Ooh, Nate, answer this question. He said, ask what he paid in taxes coming across the border with the native he won. What'd they do to you, Nate?
What'd those commies charge you, Nate?
You had to pay a plastic tax to get back across into Canada.
That's ridiculous.
I bet you.
4
Crazy.
vaccines, a pack of masks, latex-free gloves.
Sorry, Nate. But yeah, good stuff, man. I'm excited about seeing what happens with this event. I'm sure you're going to hit 100, and I'm excited about what you guys are going to drop next year. Before we came live, Ryan, William said him and Vinny would like to maybe come on this winter before the new schedule drops for next year and talk about it. So we'll put that in the files. We'll get with our people. They'll get with your people.
Yeah, we got our scheduler out there working hard.
And by that I mean I'll DM you on a Sunday night before we're going to do it. So that's what.
Sounds good. Right in the middle of me cooking dinner.
maybe even a Monday morning. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, we'd love to. Right, once we iron out all the details and we see how the Susquehanna performs. Hint, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast. Here's your opportunity. Get signed up. Once we see how the Susquehanna performs, we'll sit down and we'll get in touch.
Look at this question. Daniel Davis asked if I still hang those weird floats on my measuring board. Hang those weird floats. What I used to do back when we used hog troughs, my man, because they would, trying to keep them from breaking, whatever. But even though it was plastic, they don't float. So I would glue a big hunk of pool noodle on the end of it. So if it ever fell in, it floated.
Wow.
That's just ingenuity, man. It didn't sink.
No,
and the reason I did that is because I lost one in the middle of a tournament one time. River bass event of all things, Ryan. Lost it in the river.
It's risky out there, brother. It's risky.
Tough world. But anyway, William, thank you so much, man. We'll let you slide out of here, but we're looking forward to the event. Go get signed up on Tourney X.
Take care. Good luck. I'm ready to see some big smallmouth. We'll have the winner on after the event.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great one. Enjoy.
See y'all.
That's good. That's going to be good, man. I think it's going to be a good up there.
Dude, I'm kind of jealous. I think I'm going to fish Pickwick that weekend instead of making the 50-hour drive up there to catch a couple more smallmouth.
Me too. And you know what? I guess I've lost track of time. I didn't realize that's like next week.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
I don't have anything to do this weekend because Mackenzie's going to like her cousin's birthday party or something crazy. So I was like, yeah, I can go pre-fish Pickwick. Well, I forgot Bass is a legitimate organization here, and they
frown upon that
an official practice period. And I'm glad I went back and read the rules because I was like looking at a hotel and I was like, wait a minute, I can't even fish it anyway. So
So there you go.
I'm out of luck.
All right. Speaking of luck, we got Luke Aryan in the
Speaking of luck.
Bingo. There he
There
is.
he is.
Boom.
Ryan didn't even know it was you
Jim?
until tonight, right?
I didn't.
Tonight.
I didn't know you were the last one in.
Yeah, story of my life.
I hope they quarantine you on the res and you can't leave. Then they call me up.
How many quarantines they got to do to get you in there, right? 4?
Who's counting? Who's counting?
But who's counting? Yeah, I didn't know, man. I was asking AJ, and I thought of it.
Quick, I lost you.
Oh, there he is.
Dang.
Can you hear us?
Big
That
Chief
res
Sean
internet,
Accord done cut
Lost
him
you real
off.
quick.
Uh-oh, that res internet's sketchy, man. He just
Yeah.
thought Arkansas was bad. I'm gonna pull him out. We'll bring him back in here in just a second.
Tell Pocahontas to get out there and twirl that antenna around in the yard, see if we can't get some better reception.
There he is. Can you hear us?
I still can't hear you. Hold on real quick.
All right, we're gonna bear with you, Luke. He's the last man into the TOC and the last man into the podcast.
I see that. He's really into building the suspense here.
Yeah. Now, but when I asked AJ, think of it like the NFL draft, like the last pick of the draft is called Mr. Irrelevant, but I wouldn't say this is Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, dang, Jeff.
This isn't Mr. This is different than that. This is different than
bring
that.
that up.
That's what they call the last man into all these drafts, but it's not that at all because this is a huge deal. Last man in is still part of the 50, man. He can pull it off and win this thing. And Luke's good and water like that. So I could see him making some noise down there at Caddo. If we can ever get it back on here to talk about it. So we'll see.
Should we try smoke signals?
Yeah. We're going to get canceled tonight.
Are we? No,
I don't
tonight ain't gonna be the night, man.
No, I'll play that.
I worked too hard for this.
I'll play that tape video that came out. That crazy son of a gun talk about how they tried to cancel him. We'll do the same thing.
I like it. I like his style.
Yeah.
Stay toxic.
Oh God. Garrett Clark said he better get his sound fixed before we're forced to cover Cali events.
Nah, we ain't doing that, Garrett. Sorry.
We tried that, man. There wasn't enough
We
people in
did
here.
that, and none of y'all listened.
It's like the WNBA.
Cali. Yeah, ooh.
People involved don't watch, so how can we cover it?
That's rough. That's rough.
If everybody was like Garrett and Tim, we'd be fine. Those guys are involved and mixed up.
Todd Patrick said, "What's up?" Which reminds me, Marshall, while he was fishing our classic this weekend, ran down to fish with the Pelicans and dominated on Neely Henry. And they're going to like the Southern Finals or something of the KFL. So they're pretty deep into the proverbial money, as they say, I think.
Hey, let me tell you about this with the KFL. If we're going to cover KFL, and Drew's in the comments, so I'm gonna call Drew out. So the Arkansas squad down on Dardanelle, they had a game, quote, game or match at the same time as BOS Dardanelle was going on. Okay, Ryan?
Uh-huh.
And they stacked the team with Garrett Morgan, Cody Milton, Drew Gregory, Corey Hopper. They were loaded to the gills, and of course they won. So this week, those boys load up and drive to Virginia. No Drew Gregory, no Cody Milton, no Garrett Morgan. Only 3 anglers make the trip, and they take an L and come back home. Corey busted 100 and made a minute.
Wait a minute. They got all the pros on board to win this Arkansas game, and then turned around and none of the pros went, and they took the L the next week.
Yeah, my man.
So
Corey,
they're out of the playoffs.
They're out.
Man, come on, team.
They went out there and lost to Missouri State or Virginia State or something. So stacked team. Then they all disappeared and left Corey out there by himself, floundering. He busted 100 by himself, but it wasn't enough. So
dang, you got to make them. I feel like when you join a brotherhood as tight as this, you got to get like team tattoos or something to let them know that you're in it to win it.
Garrett said he was moving. Tom Brady would have went, Garrett.
Yeah.
Family be damned.
Yeah, Giselle be out there packing that house by herself. Yeah, ain't gotta worry about that. That's
all right.
Fact.
All right, Luke, can you hear us?
He's in the bed now.
Yeah.
Your sound got us in here talking KFL, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Sorry. That's pretty desperate. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Drew said he don't know anything about KFL. Oh, okay. All right. We're back. We're back.
Let me screenshot that real quick.
Dang.
That's the funniest thing.
Oh, my goodness. I got a tear in my eye.
Let me get my
good.
breath. I'm dying. Literally dying right now. Anyway, Luke, my man, glad to
Yes,
see you made it
sir.
in TOC once again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have you on. I didn't even obviously I didn't do any research into this other than find out who the name was. And I was excited to see it was you. But Ryan, he and I talked on the water at Dardanelle. I know that he was basically a fish short of making it. I hate to open wounds, Ryan. I hate to open wounds. So I've got your results of the year right up here on the screen. And it looks like you had two, really, really strong events, 95 points, 81 points, and then 51 and 54 there on the tail end of the season. So was there an event, like in those events where you kind of struggled a little bit, was there a moment where you like got that one extra bite or that one extra fish and you hoped that pushed you over the edge to get in?
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, Dardanelle, since that was the tournament that actually did it for me, because over at the Wolf and Fox Rivers, that was my worst event. And then I called it with Dardanelle by 3 points. And that's actually what pushed me into the TOC. I didn't pre-fish for Dardanelle this year. I felt comfortable enough that I fished it a couple times that I could get a limit just enough to call out my bad score. And man, whenever I left my Airbnb that morning, I had no idea where I was going to go. I just started heading towards the state park because I was like, let me go, look for a limit. And I said, if I see a ramp open with nobody there, I'll stop there. And I pull up past a bridge and I see a ramp nobody's at. So I throw up in there and start unloading. And I had it to myself for most of the time. Then I think one guy showed up and then another guy paddled in from across the way. And I started fishing my first maybe 40 minutes, I think. I missed like 4 fish on a whopper plopper. And I followed that because since they were missing it so much, I followed with a popper. And I caught a 20 and like 3/4 in like, and that fish right there, to me, I knew that was a huge fish for this tournament just because, you get a kicker that early. That was it. And then no more than maybe 10 minutes, if that, and I caught a 19 and 3/4. And I was like, I don't know why everyone's complaining about how crappy Dardanelle's fishing.
I don't know if you know this, Luke, but I promised quick limits by the state park. You said you drove by there. I promised Ryan quick limits there. It didn't work, but I promised it to him.
Yeah, that was my thought too. I'm glad I didn't go there because then I would have ended up like Ryan. But
everybody's pouring salt on me today. I'm like a slug out here. Christine was taking shots at me earlier about how she was going to come to the Men's Fishing Federation and teach classes on how to qualify for the TOC.
The MILF?
Yeah.
We're going to do that this year?
Yeah. The MILF. We got it.
That's a good candidate to teaching somebody, though.
I know. It's tough.
Yeah, you got to kick your friends when they're down. I find that's the best way to get them to get up eventually.
That's the only thing your real friends will do. Like your real friends will just pile on you and dog you and make fun of you and
exactly
call you old all the time. That's what they do. I think
you
that's
either get better or you quit fishing altogether.
That's right.
One of the two.
I heard most people golf. That's what I heard.
I don't know. I've been told that's what real friends do, and if it's not, then I'm in deep trouble because that's what all my friends do. So
yeah, you'd be all right.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So let's look at this. You on day 1 of Dardanelle, you had 4 fish.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a limit, but you had a big one in there to kind of push you up a little bit, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I lost a lot of fish that day. I just had a really good early morning bite going on. The wind was just right where it was cracking the bank and pushing bait just right into my spot. And man, it was real fast and furious, and I was missing a lot of fish because I couldn't hardly feel the bites, and it was fun. But after that, it was like you really, towards later in the day, you really needed to have something dialed in. In other words, you were just going to sit there and search for something, and I tried, but obviously I didn't succeed. with that. It hurt a little bit to not be able to catch, just a 12-inch fish with not a limit, 4 fish. I knew I was not in the contention to win or place without having a stellar day 2. But yeah, it hurt a little bit being that close.
And frankly, I'm looking at your day 2. You had a 4-fish day on day 2 as well.
Yeah.
But decent, decent couple of top of your limit, of your 4. You had 2 decent ones there at the top. Did you think it slipped through your fingers after Dardanelle?
Honestly, I was real nervous, man. I don't know if you saw me posting up, like, worrying about the BOS when AJ was going to drop it. I knew he was like, I'm going to drop it on Monday. And somebody was like, oh, no, he's dropping it on Tuesday. And I'm sitting there. I'm telling you what, I had the Hobie BOS page pulled up on my work computer. I'm sitting there refreshing about every hour or so, looking. And I was chomping at the bit because it was a great experience last year. And that was my first year qualifying. And I didn't qualify through points. I qualified through a top 3 finish at Broken Bow. And this year, I really felt like I earned my spot, or at least, I gave it a good whirl at it if I didn't make it. And so, yeah, I was chomping at the bit. I was nervous. It had me on, pins and needles. I put in a lot of miles this year, a lot of pre-fishing, met a lot of really good people, and, traveling all over the nation. And it was worth it for sure. But it had me nervous for sure. I not having a limit both days. Man, I was disappointed, but I knew I didn't stop. I didn't get off the water early. I didn't, stop throwing something. Dude, my kayak was littered with baits everywhere. I was sitting there switching colors, switching presentations. It was tough, but I fought it out.
Yeah, man. Did any of your 4 on either day come in the last hour?
I had on the second day, I may have had 1 come within the last maybe hour and a half or so. And life scope, I had I run LVS 34 on my for Garmin, my live scope, and it's really hard when times get tough. I love flipping grass, and I had that around me, and it was really good water willow all around me. It's hard not to sit there, flip, pitch, throw stuff inside of it. But whenever I've already hit it 3 times and it's not producing anymore, it's kind of hard not to just sit there and scope around and try to find either, some randoms, swimming out in nothing, or, some good brush piles. And brush piles are galore over there. And so I'm sitting there running around brush pile to brush pile. And apparently, these fish must have been just beat to heck. Because, I was throwing everything out. And just watching them, it's frustrating. I fished live scope for I don't even know, probably 4 or 5 years now, something. So I know what these fish are. I know what they do. I know how they act, and I can tell like these are bass, and these are just extremely pressured, finicky bass, and they're just not wanting to hit anything. It was frustrating. But I get one to bite, a big 10-inch worm, and it's amazing how that one stupid fish was everything. And
I would have loved to have met that one stupid fish. Looked all over for him.
And do y'all think it was like that, like the pressure that lake experiences? Because I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the lake, but it gets a ton of tournament pressure.
Yeah,
I know Ryan and we fished together a little bit on day 2, and we were sitting on top of a wad of bait and fish.
Tons of fish.
Wouldn't sniff a thing out there suspended.
Yeah.
So you think that's pressure, or just time of year, or what?
Yeah, you're talking about coming out of late, July, early August, I guess. You're talking about that's a horrible time to fish in the Midwest, all in general.
Take notes, TDs.
Yeah, it is.
Skip a month. Why not? Skip a month.
Yeah, really, it's skipped 2 months. Like July and August really are like 2 months that boat tournaments especially need to skip it, because they absolutely smash the fish population and just killing all sorts of big fish. But not only that, but it's just hot. For everybody, it's hot for people, and for the fish are just lethargic. It's a get your fish early or don't get them at all type of tournament. And fishing really clean, is tough early in the morning. But I think it has to do with a lot of everything. I mean, you got all that bait out there. I mean, so many bait balls. I've seen a lot of bait. I saw more at Eufaula, Alabama than I did here, but the bait balls here were insane. I mean, there was fish littered inside of them, and it's just like you could throw anything at them, and it's like they wouldn't touch it because why would they? They got the real deal right there.
I mean this very much when I say it. If I never see Eufaula, Alabama, or Lake Dardanelle ever again in my entire life, I will be a blessed man.
I'm glad you didn't just say Arkansas, right? I'm glad you just didn't throw Arkansas into the
There's got to be a good lake out there somewhere. I want to go see this mysterious power plant lake in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
I want something to rebuild my faith in the state. I know it's not football. I know it's not fishing. There's something out there for me. Oh, duck hunting. Never mind. I'll be there in December.
Come up this winter. I got a cot for you in the corner. We'll go hit the power plant, dude.
Deal. Tell Kyle we're coming over.
Let y'all hit that power plant lake, and then you come to Oklahoma, and I'll show you around a little bit.
All right. I'll get over there.
Now I like Oklahoma. I do like Oklahoma. I get down on the res.
Ryan's a son
we got a couple of power plant lakes around here in Oklahoma as well that people fish on occasion.
Why all these dang Oklahomans come over to Swepco, man?
I don't know. I've been wondering the same thing. I saw Evers posted a video the other day. He said fishing in Oklahoma, and I was like,
nah, he was over there.
You're straight line. I know exactly where you're at.
He's over there doing jerkbait tips on the lake where you can throw a bottle cap out there and catch them at certain times. So
yeah.
Hey, what a better place to film a fishing video though.
I'm telling you, dude. Sometimes I didn't like that, but when it's right, it's right. Levi Schneider said come to Bull Shoals. I've been banging that drum for a while, Levi. I've been
just trying. He's pushing hard. Somebody's gonna fall for it sooner or later.
That's right. The lake will probably drop.
Someone pick up a Midwest tournament this year. I'm going to be interested to see what's going to happen at TOC. What tournaments are going to drop? Arkansas, Missouri area. I'm really interested.
Yeah, I know there's talk of expansion over there. I can't wait to see what they do with that. So where they go and what they do. I know we'll have some of the old favorites on the schedules that drop, like the regular places, but I'm hoping for a few new names out there too. So we'll see.
Yeah, maybe LOZ or a little Truman maybe.
Yeah, I'll be down with Table Rock, man. I like the Rock.
No Beaver.
I mean, they can come to Beaver Lake if they want. It's made a little comeback. There were some 85, 90-inch limits winning out there this year. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody asked a question to you, man. Oh, Steven Sisto asked, did you throw a frog at all?
I don't even like Steven anymore.
No one does, but answer the question.
No, I do not throw a frog. That's the bad thing. I had to have some guy from Pennsylvania tell me how he was tearing them up. And I'm from Oklahoma. It's ridiculous. I'm sitting there like, that's in my blood. It was like, here's your binky and here's your frog. And I was like, I didn't throw it. It's ridiculous.
I have never heard of anybody following a topwater up with a topwater. You might have taught me something here tonight, pal. I was expecting you to say like Cinco or jig or something. You're like, he missed the plopper, so I hit him with the popper, show him something different. I like that.
That's trademark right there.
That's good.
Plopper popper?
You hit him with the popper. That's a trademark.
That sounds like something G-Man would try to make into some sort of video or T-shirt. Drew saying Millwood and Wright Patman. Millwood would be cool. That's down in southwest Arkansas, but it's I want Lambert and some of these folks to see a nice part of Arkansas for the love of God.
Are there nice parts of Arkansas?
Man, where I live is the spot, but we got Beaver Lake, so you got to deal with that if you're going to come up here. Beautiful lake, but just if you like catching 12-inch spots, it's the place to be.
Yeah, and I've caught some really good smallmouth out of Beaver Lake.
Yeah, it's got all three. So we'll see, man. We see. I wish that we could get a big tournament here like that because it is a cool place to come hang out, and it's got all the facilities and accommodations to host everybody. But it's not always like that.
No, I mean, there's so much lake too. I mean, that is just massive. That would be the tough thing to do. It's so huge.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest fisheries out there.
Yeah, beaver, places like that. Bull Shoals would be. I love Bull Shoals, but it'd be sort of tough just because there's no bridges crossing it. You got to drive around it. So we'll see what people do. We'll see what people do. I'll just anything within 6 hours. I'll be happy.
What if we had a tournament series with motors, so you didn't have to drive around the lake? You could just motor across it.
Ooh. You know, the big talk is who's going to be the first series to allow 2?
Is that the big talk?
That's the big talk. Behind the scenes.
What kind of peoples is out here running around trying to put 2 and 3 motors on the deal?
And they might drop a bow and a stern, but they're like a little mini boat, a little scamp.
Yeah, we drop into the bottom of the ocean out there. We'll be dredging that one up.
Well, I mean, certain brands will. They're already close, but a lot of them can hack it. Yeah, man. I think it was All American guys that said they might do that. Maybe the first ones to even try that next year. Maybe I'm crazy on
Tim
that.
Arthur says they have all the motors out there. Yep. They can't talk on the phone to each other in public or fuel their vehicles, but they have unlimited amounts of motors on
electric motors.
Electric motors. That's true. Yeah, they can only throw tungsten as well.
Can't charge your batteries, but they got unlimited electric motors. So
turn the lights off at the ramp.
Yeah, that's true. Randy Creason said people are already pushing weight limits with one motor. That's true. There's some dangerous setups out there, man. I've seen some people load some batteries in boats and nose up, nose down. It can be kind of sketchy out there.
There's some hefty boys out there getting on some little kayaks I've seen.
Yeah,
pushing water through the scupper holes. Putting on it.
Yeah,
pretty sketchy.
Man, we're getting up against it. Luke, I'm glad you made it in. We're gonna be pulling for you down there. But I know there's a lot of people lingering around. They're wanting to see or hear the big news of the night, aren't they, Ryan? Yeah, and Ryan knows you know what we're allowed to say and not say. So you need to break it down for people. What are we going to announce?
What we can announce is where the Bassmaster National Championship that is in association with the Bassmaster Classic will be held. There's still, from my understanding, there's still one tiny remaining signature that's left to be pinned onto the paper, but we are 99.9% locked in to your host lake, Lake Chickamauga. Bringing the championship to Chick. Of course, it's hosted. The Classic is out of Knoxville, so you're about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes away. So sign up now. Your last chance to qualify will be at Pickwick, which we have discussed is weekend after next. Registration's still open. Get on the Bassmaster website. Get signed up for this. You do not want to miss the championship on Chickamauga. We will have more details revolving around the changes that Bassmaster will undergo for next year. Hopefully next Monday. We were allowed to release that information right now. We will bring you the new Fearless Leader, possibly some rule updates and changes, a schedule layout. It's going to be big. So sign up for Pickwick. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, it sounds like Bass is getting serious, Ryan. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it is. I'll put my name on that one. Bass is about to kick the door in. I promise.
Yep. So there we go. What's the old saying? Rising tide. BOS is out there doing its thing. We needed Bass to come along and rise up a little bit, and they're doing it. So good stuff.
I mean, we've spent 2 years having this discussion, and it's finally I feel like it's being heard, and I think it took maybe the numbers dipping on Bass down to 40 or 50 angler average. They should be at 120, 130 plus angler average. I mean, they have the platform to do it. So it's time to market. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. Let's get after it.
There we go. Drew Gregory says they are for sure good things coming. That's right. Drew, I had somebody guess the other day that you were the new head of Bass, the TD for Bass. That was their guess. Blink twice. It's true, Drew.
Is it?
Is it true? Drew's not busy enough.
Are we going to break this news right now? Is Drew the leader?
Is Drew Batman? I don't know. It's we won't know until next week. But yeah, that was somebody's guess. I kind of laughed. I'm like, that dude's too busy. He can't do that.
I was going to say he's too busy fishing. He's going to give up fishing to TD.
No.
The trail running thing, I think he might have seen how much of the luster gets lost on that end of it.
He gave up TD and to go fishing. River
exactly.
bass and disappeared, and now he's out there kicking butt. But yeah, man. What else we got, Ryan? You gonna wrap this thing up?
That's it, dog. That's it.
All right. Luke,
we got a All-American tournament this weekend.
Oh yeah, 10 Killer.
It's Killer Lake. If you guys want to roll on out, I'll love to stack another one of these on you guys.
Oh wow.
Okay. I got to take the weekend off, or I would come down there. I got some boys from Arkansas going down. I gotta rest up for Pickwick, man. I'm heading to Pickwick next Wednesday. So
we're gonna have a big time.
Fantastic. Well, good luck. I'm glad. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys and what you guys do and what you guys have built and getting us a platform to vent on and have fun on and bring the camaraderie. You know, so
I'll give you $100 if you can get 4 people out of the TOC. All right.
Four people.
Cash money. 4 people out of the way.
Well, yeah, I could probably do that.
You
Not
pick
including
4.
yourself.
I don't care who it is.
4 people. Okay.
Have Gary call Larry Wisnett. I'm pretty sure he can take care of that for you.
I want to call, what's that, Plunkett, the weird dude that makes YouTube videos. I feel like he could probably help me out.
There you go. All right. Good stuff, man. Thanks for everybody for watching. YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Appreciate you. We'll see y'all next week.
Take care. We out.
Later.